Hey guys, what's up? This is Armin Van Buuren and you're watching Guettapen TV.
Salut tout le monde, c'est Bulbi, on est toujours à l'Electrobeach pour une première interview à vous proposer. On est quand même avec monsieur Armin Van Buuren. Hi Armin.
What's up?
How are you
Bonjour.
doing?
Bonsoir.
Ça va bien?
Bien,
Bien?
oui, merci.
You're finally coming back to Electrobeach after 2 years.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Excited?
It's my only gig in France this year, and I know there's a lot of fans here.
It's a good memory?
Yeah,
Okay.
always good. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm honestly, I didn't expect this so big.
So big? Really?
Yeah, great production.
Because for you, France doesn't mean big production?
No, but I'm not saying that, but I know that France was more about clubs. I played many clubs here in
Electrobeach
France.
is kind of the only big festival, such big in France. That's
it's
true.
incredible. Yeah.
And I would like to talk right now about your last single, Sunny Days.
Yes.
You released it some weeks ago with a music video and 2 versions.
Yeah.
A club mix and also more pop version.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like the second time in a row that you produce more pop music after I Need You.
Mm-hmm.
So do you plan to do more pop music in the future? And why?
I don't plan on. For me, for you, maybe there's a difference between club or trance or pop. When I'm in the studio, I don't think about that.
No?
I'm just thinking about, the inspiration was Chicane. The inspiration
Chicane,
was Bill Withers' Lovely Day. The inspiration was to make a beautiful summer song. And when you're creative in the studio, you don't want to limit yourself to, it has to be 128 BPM, it has to have this breakdown.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make a pop record or steer away from pop. I want to make a good track that has my sound. And with I Need You, it was the same thing. It was like I started with the club version as the first mix, but I also did a down-tempo version because I felt like it fitted the vocal better. Same thing with Sunny Days. We had the 128 club mix finished first, and then we started working on a more down-tempo version, which happened to be the radio version.
The radio version, yeah.
I'm not trying to make pop or stay away from pop. I'm just doing whatever I want. You can call it whatever you want, and I just want to make music that touches me and touches the people around me.
And talking about genre and doing whatever you want, actually, I saw you some months ago in Utrecht at ASOT Festival, and I was like blown away by your classic vinyl set.
Yes.
So I would like to know, why do you do this kind of performances only on trance stages, and why do you play some more maybe mainstream music on festival main stage?
Because I want to see the crowd go crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I play a vinyl set here on Electrobeach, the people would stare. There's a lot of young people who don't have the knowledge about the history of the trance, which I'm not. When I'm playing as a DJ, I'm not playing just for myself, because if I would play for myself, I would be playing ambient music or ambient dub. I would be playing really weird music. I'm playing for the people and that are in front of me. I'm not playing for the people online. I'm just playing for
people.
Yeah, so
you're a DJ. You are supposed to make people dance and enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's true.
I always start my set a little bit trancey, as you know, but then I look at the crowd and see how they react on my music, and if they react like really good to the 138 stuff, man, if you want to play, I can play an 8-hour 138 set here right now. But the people would not really appreciate it here. On the other hand, I try to lure the people into trance with my main stage sets as well, because I always leave room for more uplifting stuff, for more 138 stuff. So I try to find a balance between what works on the dance floor and what works with my sound and my fans, because I know where I come from. I will never abandon trance, This is not my intention right now, because this is where I come from. But on the other way, I think some of the trance music sounds the same as 10 years ago. Not all of it, but I want to make music that moves forward, that is interesting, and I want to look at other genres to see where I can have my inspiration for the trance music. For example, if you look at guys like Coma or Orjan Nielsen or
great guys,
they are doing the same thing. They are looking for inspiration in other styles to bring the trance music further. And some people, they like to hold on to the past, which is absolutely fine. There's no criticism. I mean, I think it's a great thing. If you like the older trance sound, there's enough stages for you. There's a lot of events for you. But for me, in order to still like this music and be, to keep it exciting for myself, I have to do new things all the time. As much as proud as I am of my previous tracks, like Burn with Desire or In and Out of Love, and the praise I got for it, they're still my babies. I wouldn't change a single note. But you have to understand, for me, when I'm in the studio, I'm not thinking about creating a hit record or creating a pop record, like you were saying.
What you want to create.
I'm just doing something that comes from my heart.
Okay.
And sometimes it will please you, and sometimes it won't. So one day I'll produce a track for the Gaia guys. One track one day I'll make a 138 Game of Thrones remix, and then the next day I'll be making a down-tempo track.
And you also have another big project that I would like to talk about, because in 3 weeks you're going to perform at Electronic Family as Gaia.
Yes.
Why is your project with Benno so rare on the scene? And do you plan some big project under Gaia in the future or not?
Well, I'm producing an album as Gaia secretly. Already, we've been working for a long time with it, and the guys have said that they want to tour a lot more as Gaia. So this is great, but I'm not going to be there. I just want to see it as a separate project. And I'm really happy that Gaia gives me the creative freedom as a producer to experiment more with the deeper sounds and experiment more with maybe more techno trance kind of
sometimes,
the classic, the more classic trancey sound. I don't mean like the uplifting sound. I mean like the early trance sound.
Early trance,
like the times where I made Blue Fear and that sort of stuff. So I just at the moment, also as Armin Van Buuren, I have quite a few trance tracks lined up that are coming out still. But I don't want to limit myself to just one. Some people worry about what music should be. I want to worry about what music could be.
That's a great vision of music.
Yeah.
And to conclude, I would like to talk about the future of trance music, because for me it's coming back in the front of the scene right now, thanks to Vini Vici, for example. Psytrance is played in mainstream festival, like for example Nervo played it here. So why do you think of this new trend of playing Psytrance everywhere?
Because to a lot of people, the Psytrance sound, even though it's one of the oldest trance sounds, it's been around way longer than uplifting trance. It's a lot of people have just discovered it, and I think because it's not a full production, it's a very it's only the kick, the bass line, and usually some production elements, and that's it.
Simple. Yeah.
So in a big festival, on a big floor, it works because it has an impact, and I think music is never a fixed thing. I know that what you're saying, you're talking about pop music, you're talking about trance music, you're talking about EDM. When I'm in the studio, I'm not thinking about a genre. I'm not trying to stay away from a genre. I'm not trying to be in a genre. I'm just trying to have fun in the music, and I leave it up to other people to say, like, because for me, this is just for me, Sunny Days is not a pop track. For me, it is trance, but
it's just
people
an
say
Armin track.
Yeah, it's an Armin track.
Okay.
But if you want to call it pop, go ahead. It's fine. But it wasn't made with that intention. It was made like, I want to make something
because
with guitar and with guitars and with strings and some nice things. And because it's a song, people say, oh, it's pop. But for me, it's not. That was not the intention. It just happens, And what are you going to do? You're going to not release it because it's not something that it's supposed to be. And that's what I say. Like, some people worry about what music should be. I want to worry about what it could be.
That's a great way of thinking. Thank you, Armin.
Thank you.
C'était Armin Van Buuren. On est à Electrobeach et on revient très très vite pour d'autres interviews. Salut.
Merci.